And wow, as it turns out, when we have mirror compositions, the much better play from CNL.
Which is just really exciting. You know, DMG, the favorite team, they absolutely crushed CNL in that first game. Then you go into the second game, and it's the exact opposite. It wasn't a stomp per se, but as you mentioned before, they're all using the same hero, so it's hard to stomp when you get two top-tier teams. But they were able to just outplay DMG for sure.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest weakest link for DMG was Godfather. His greed in the lane came back to bottom, and Lolly was always there to punish every time. So, I mean, we're going to take a look at that sort of play a little bit later. The beginning of the game was well played by DMG, and they did get a very substantial early lead, but it didn't matter. And this is just the first time we see Godfather get caught.
Yeah, the first of many. First of about 8 or 9 times that does happen in this game.
It's almost as if CNL has identified that Godfather plays greedy. We've seen him do that in the lane a lot throughout this entire tournament. And like, Godfather is kind of the carry for the team. He is the team. We're going to take him out. We're going to focus on him, and we're going to kind of neuter your team as a result.
Yeah. We do see him just barely survive in this fight, but he does get caught per se. And now they do do a good job, but then Godfather's going in trying to get the minions once again. And this is just the theme of the entire game. You know, Godfather's getting greedy on these minions.
Yeah. So
here we go once again.
And down he goes, and he's just, you know, we're going to take a look at Godfather being dead all the time, basically, for the rest of this game.
That was the majority of the fights, actually, in this game. It's funny enough.
It was a 3v2.
In a way.
So, you know, this is one of our kind of mid-fights where DMG starts off with an advantage, but MX kind of messes up there and barely can get, you know, that turret aggro taken away from him, and he survives. We're seeing some really good Solar Storms out of Ken this entire game as well. I really want to point that out.
Yeah, very solid play on the Celeste from Ken. Really was linking up all of his abilities and doing a good job. Had some nice moments where he did some good kiting. He does go down here.
Yeah,
nice
barely.
By MX.
Yeah, this is actually a really crazy fight. It was so close.
Just barely getting that. And the ace at the last second.
Yeah, that was 1 second left. I remember that fight specifically. So I think something we may see here, I think it might even behoove, it might actually behoove DMG to let Godfather play Sky and stop banning it. Let Ken play Sky and then have that duel in the lane. I think that, personally, from watching both players play Sky, I think Ken's Sky was really good, but I think Godfather's Sky is better. But he's clearly not as proficient with Celeste. He's having a lot of issues in this game in particular.
Yeah. I wonder if they won't ban Arden themselves. You know, force a situation like the first game. It was CNL that banned out Arden in the first game, but maybe DMG can ban it out in order to force, you know, the same compositions.
Yeah, it's totally possible. Well, we're just going to watch the rest of this game kind of unfold for you guys. We've already seen it once, but it's one of these replays that we watch in between sets. Another big Gauntlet. Gauntlet was not the ability that was really the game changer in this particular set, just simply because both teams were ready to fight with Rona up in their face. It was more about the Celestes and their Solar Storms and whether or not they got picked off by Rona in these fights. And most of the time, Godfather did, and that's kind of what cost them the game.
Also, a very fantastic play out of Lolly. Want to point that out. He was always on Godfather. You know, we point out the negatives of Godfather being out of position, but Lolly was making it hell in this game for Godfather to be anywhere near the fights at all times. Just always on top of him and not giving him any room to breathe.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of what CNL said, is like, hey, Lolly, stay on Godfather. Every time he's in a place where he shouldn't be, punish him and kill him. And we kind of saw that consistently throughout the game. If you look at the scores as well, 10-2 for Lolly, and Godfather currently at 1-7.
Here's just another example. That was a fantastic gauntlet. It's like the one time where the gauntlet was a big game changer there. Catching Godfather right on the edge, trapping him in one small area, and then Lolly with the follow-up to jump straight in onto him. And once again, just give him no room to breathe.
So, We're going to see Godfather get taken out here by Lolly again, or at least attempted. Looks like we're not going to watch the rest of that replay, which is fine, because I think everybody's ready for game number 3. We want to see who's going directly to the finals. That is what this third game will decide. It's all tied up. The winner of this is moving on to the finals. They're going to have that shot at a much larger prize pool, and they don't have to play any losers matches.
Yeah, that's a really important point. You want to be able to rest, sit back, and observe your opponents rather than have to play another game and then be tired. You want to just be able to relax and sit back.
All right, let's see. We're seeing locks in, but we don't have any bans.
Well, I would have to imagine with Arden being picked here and Sky that Celeste was banned, probably by DMG. And on the other side, maybe Koshka?
Yeah, because Rona's not banned here, so I think you're right. So we're going to see similar comps here, just going to be the difference between Rona and Fortress. Lolly on Fortress, we've seen him just yesterday, tear it up. And MX going to be on Rona this time.
But I'm really excited to see this Battle of the Skies once again, as you put it. Godfather, fantastic Sky player, but Ken also a amazing Sky player. So,
also, Valas, I think it might be that in Game 3 there just simply are no bans.
Oh, that's also a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be correct.
So that's actually probably what's going on. So they can basically play whatever they want, which makes things really exciting in that regard as well. So that's something to really think about when we go into the rest of these series, about taking an early lead. If one of your opponent's teams is really good at a certain comp, if you can't beat them 2-0, then you're not going to be able to ban that in the third game. Well, this is going to be cool because I think we're basically going to find out in this game who's the best Sky in China, and is it Ken or is it Godfather?
Yeah. Didn't Raichu play Sky one time
Yeah,
against
once.
Ken?
I like Raichu's Celeste much more than his Sky. Godfather is going to be taken out here again, or at least attempted. I think he might barely escape. No,
just with that slow there, going to be killed in the lane very, very early. A good gank, I'd have to say, more than anything else by CNL. You want to jump onto Sky before she is level 2, so she could possibly like Suri Strike to dodge some stuff. So yeah, just a really nice gank. It's a good idea to do that when you do hit level 2 on Fortress, because you can just jump straight in there.
So I have to just kind of point out, like we talked about last game, Godfather seems to be the key for DMG, and they are constantly on him, making
the target.
Making sure that he does not just get to farm and be greedy like he has in the rest of this tournament. Really good preparation here by CNL.
Yeah, it's just a very smart team. They sat back after that first game. They're like, okay, maybe it wasn't Finn, or maybe they didn't even get an opportunity to jump onto Godfather because of Finn in the first game. But this time around, they definitely know what they're doing. We are going to have a little skirmish here.
I think this is actually not going to go DMG's way because Ken is nearby, and they walked in without vision. Ken doing a bunch of extra damage with that Suri Strike, and Dead Doll going to fall first, it looks like. MX does come, close to Ken here with the support of Lolly and Leo. Does end up losing out. Now, don't forget, during all of this time, Godfather was doing his thing, getting his farm in the lane, which is what he likes and often why he's able to carry. But if he dies here, it's not going to matter, and that is exactly what we see. So yet another kill here going down to Godfather, putting CNL at a 3-0 kill score in this third and final game.
Yeah, making it look like CNL is the favorites to possibly go straight into that finals. I mean, we saw fantastic play in the first game from DMG, but maybe they tasted the blood, they tasted that victory of, going to the finals. They thought they had it already won, and they're just not playing their game. And CNL really stepped it up after that first one.
Yeah. Well, let's see if this second attempted evade is going to work out, because again, they're walking into a bush where CNL has vision first, and I just don't think this is going to work out at all. Dead Doll taking a lot of damage. We're seeing the exact same situation happening again. I feel like I'm having deja vu right now. Dead Doll dies first, MX has to run away. This time we see it without even Ken's help, so Ken's continuing to get that farm in the lane. He's actually tied in farm with Godfather currently.
Yeah, this is the reason why, people pick Fortress now for the jungle. It's a fantastic hero to chase down your enemies. If you can win the first team fight, which you do a good job of when you're level 2 and you can jump on a laner very easily, just like this, and they're going to go for it again.
Oh, Godfather might just be dead here. It certainly is. Look at this. You can actually just go ahead and walk away. Leo is totally fine. And yeah, if you get an early advantage, especially, Fortress becomes so powerful and so terrifying. Yeah. But if you get an early advantage in a fight even, like if they walk into your bush, you're going to win that fight. But if they can't get away, then you not only do you win the fight, you kill them, which is what we saw twice now with MX getting taken out. So he's, excuse me, not MX, Dead Dog getting taken out. MX having to escape and run away, not able to save his partner.
And that's what Fortress is all about. I mean, even just look at his items. You get 2 light armors, 1 light shield, and a life spring, I believe that is. And the only offensive item, per se, is a swift shooter, which is only going to improve his attack speed. So he's not even, like, going to be chunking them down. It's just like they can't get away from him. Yeah, they can't kill him either.
It's his base ability damage that is what's really strong in the early game, so he just needs that tankiness. But we're going to see him, later on, if he decides to go down that path, he could build some more damage. Or he could just become the super ultimate tank. And just absorb all the damage, especially absorbing the damage of Surrey Strike, for example, is important. And we're going to see, again, this fight in the lane. Dead Doll is nearby, and I'm not sure if Ken realizes that. He doesn't have a scout trap, so let's see if he can find anything here. Looks like the answer is no.
Yeah, they could have possibly gone for it, but I think they do need Rona with them if they are going to try to go for a gank on Ken here. And Ken nearing 6. We do have Rona as the only person at 6 just yet.
And wanted to go for a kill here, taking a lot of damage. We do see that Fortress ult, which is going to give them the vision of where MX is, and they're going to look for him because they know he's alone. That's one of the cool things about the basically utility ult of Fortress is you can find that third hero exactly where they're positioned. Lolly's positioning, or excuse me, Leo's positioning is not very good here. They do get that gold mine just barely.
DMG very passive. I mean, you had Ken at such a low health, Leo also very, very low. They weren't necessarily behind on ultimates either. I mean, both teams only have 1 person at level 6. I think they should have jumped in on that and gone for at least 1 kill, if not the snipe on the gold mine.
Yeah. Everyone is feeling tense right now. All those DMG fans are like, ooh, this is not good. Well, I think the answer so far as to who is the better Sky is definitely going to go to Ken. Well, he's got his team to back him up, which is part of the reason why he wins.
I'd say, like, who's the better Sky? It's Lolly on Fortress.
Yeah, that's well said.
So, Lolly waiting. They are getting a nice push down here in the lane.
Yeah. It looks like they're just basically trying to always clear out the scout traps. Notice Leo always checks and walks in that location to try to make sure there's no scout traps there. So they free up another possible gank location because Godfather loves to go over that Vein Sword. Uh-oh. Lolly taking a lot of damage, but he's going to steal the minion mine, and they're really going to start pushing this hard. And I think actually with that healing that he's got, he should be able to escape.
Yeah, just barely Fountain of Renewal keeping him alive. But look at this. Ken is going to be caught out and killed.
Uh-oh, this is starting to look really bad. Arden can jump in with his shield, although it is on cooldown, so not quite going to be able to do so. Lolly actually going to die here.
Yeah, it's going to go down.
See if Leo can escape.
He's going to dodge that slow.
Oh, he actually could just back here. He could just recall.
Yeah, they're just going to go for the gold mine instead. I think that's a good idea. No reason to chase down the roam. He's not really going to have much of an impact by himself either. Would take him a long time to kill any of those jungle minions and steal anything as well. So.
There's no ace potential either, so.
Yeah.
So the gold mines that both teams got are comparable. And we actually have 7k gold apiece for these two teams currently. And Godfather is trying to catch up in farm now, actually evening it up at 67. Oh, eat that scout trap.
Yeah, nicely done. Both teams going back to farming here. We do see, looking at some of the items, it does seem like Ken still a little bit ahead of Godfather, I suppose, with that extra kill. Just getting a little bit of extra gold here. Godfather also going for an earlier reflex block, which is going to give him a little bit of extra survivability.
Yeah. Obviously a very important item to have when it comes to dealing with that gauntlet.
Well, both teams just posturing up here, and Dead Doll is going to land a big gauntlet onto Ken.
Man, and Ken, without that reflex block, this is what we were just talking about, is definitely going to have some struggles. We do see that defensive gauntlet being used here with a huge Sky Ult. But the Sky Ult, of course, not able to help finish off Lolly, as he does just kind of run through it and get out of there. And DMG looks like they're just going to take this opportunity to steal the jungle farm. And they already have control of the gold mine, which is about 1/4 of the way set. Godfather, though, getting caught while his teammates are going through the jungle, and he will go down.
Yeah, looks like he will. He's trying to do enough damage to Lolly, just barely. Not going to be able to kill Lolly here. But yeah, what that one kill onto Ken really offered was a time to just farm and sit back and get some kills. But we do have another fight. Ken is going to go down.
Yeah, this is, I think as they were saying, basically just a bit too long. Lolly might be able to escape here. He's got nothing to jump to, but Leo, 2 seconds away from his shield, would have been able to help, but doesn't need it anyways. Looks like he's just going to kind of sit here and try to absorb some of these minions under the turret until Ken is back in lane. I don't think they can kill him. There's no way, but they might be able to get this turret. It's going to be close. Ken is on his way back.
I think they should be able to get this with Rona here. Just going to spin to win, kill the turret, and back off. So after all, a really nice team fight for DMG. They're able to pick up a couple of kills, or at least one, and then go for that kill on the turret. So slowly furthering their lead here. Taking it slow compared to game 2. You know, Godfather is getting caught out here, but there's a ton of pressure on him, so it does make sense that would happen.
Yeah. I feel like one of the key things here to note is just how, much ahead in levels DMG's members are. They've been spread out quite a bit, so you can see Godfather and MX are at 10, whereas Lolly and Ken are at 9 and 8, so that definitely gives them a lot of extra scaling damage as well. We're going to see a gauntlet get tossed down here somewhat defensively, and a very, very aggressive Ken ult here, and CNL taking so much damage. Ken's already dead, and Lolly is going to get taken out here potentially as well. He's trying to escape using that extra speed boost. Leo also in a lot of trouble. Godfather jumps on Lolly. It looks like they're just going to get killed separate of each other.
Yeah, having that Frost Burn on Sky will just enable you to pick up kills like that. Just hit him with the tip of your forward barrage, and that is all you need. This should be 3 kills here. No ace. Ken does get up.
Yeah. We got Super Evil Megacorp CEO's like, yeah, I made that come, you made that game.
Big time DMG fan. No, he favors no one. He just made the game.
He's like, that's my game. I love that. It's a great game. So, the fight that we just saw there is just again showcasing some of these gauntlets we're seeing having to use them defensively. They're not saving them. They're getting caught out of position. And Godfather is, even though he's 2 and 4, he's in a much more comfortable position than we saw him last game. He's massively ahead of Ken. And he has, obviously the better build. And we saw that earlier reflex block actually be what cost Ken that early fight. And I think things are starting to snowball a little bit here. And they have 4K gold advantage right now.
Yeah, don't underestimate the power of Gauntlet. Just the stun, it's a huge zoning tool. And even though you have an Arden on your own team, you can't really rely on his own shield as well. Also, though, don't count out Lolly and his breaking points. We see him do the same build all the time, and he can get really scary in these fights.
So he's actually going to go ahead and ult and jump in. Dead Doll takes a ton of damage, but will survive a huge Sky ult. The same will be true reversely here. Ken looks to be the first to fall, and these 2 gauntlets are not really affecting the fight all too much, with Godfather just doing massive damage, uncontested, and that will be an ace here for DMG. The only to fall will be Dead Doll. They'll easily be able to take this turret and might even be able to get the gold mine on their way out.
Yeah, very nicely done there. That was a really good Sky ult. I think it was onto Lolly just to disable him for, a small period of time. Also, as you were talking about right before the fight, Godfather ahead of Ken in terms of items. So those 2 were kind of having their own mini battle on the side, and Godfather obviously was going to win when it's only 1-on-1. And from there, it was just a 3-on-2 fight after Godfather was able to pick up the kill.
And as we talked about yesterday, Sky is definitely the best hero in the game at destroying solo targets, whether it's the Kraken, whether it is the gold mine, or even a turret. So they're easily able to get a turret and then casually take some jungle farm, and then also the gold mine. So we're going to see a huge jump in here by MX. Sky ult going down here on all of CNL as well. Look at this. This is going to be another ace, most likely, as Leo, the last man standing, trying to escape. But there's no escape. He's not going to be able to survive for 15 seconds. It's going to be another ace. And now they're just going to be able to push down the turret. This is the DMG everyone was expecting to see in Game 2. This is the Godfather that we were expecting to see in Game 2. Clearly much more comfortable on Sky than Celeste, which is what we were talking about in between the games.
Oh, yeah. And that's going to give an inherent advantage towards DMG. If it is the case that there are no bans in game number 3, I think that is the case. I don't think they just like made a mistake and forgot to put them up there. I give the Chinese production more credit than that. But
yeah, I also feel like, you know,
it makes sense.
If there were a ban, it was going to be like Sky would have been one of them.
Yeah, almost definitely. After seeing the play of both of these guys here in this game. But yeah, I was getting a little bit scared in the beginning of the game. Godfather was getting so much pressure once again. He got ganked twice, but they've really shored up their shortcomings in game number 2 for sure.
All right, we're going to see another big fight here. The Gauntlet's going to trap these two members. Ken is busy farming in the lane. He's nowhere nearby to help out. And with the better items here for DMG, they're easily going to win this 2v2 fight. And now the fact that Ken is back is irrelevant because it's still a 2v2, and Godfather is way better farmed. Down goes Leo effortlessly. And this all happens while Rona is just casually farming.
And sitting in his own jungle, just like, I guess I'll start the Kraken. You guys get the turret. It's all good. Wow, they're actually going to do that. I was joking. Like,
well, they'll easily be able to get this turret. Sky can come back to the Kraken, I guess, because, like I said, best single target damage. Watch how much faster this Kraken is going to go down when she starts putting that off. Oh, easy.
Yeah,
would you like that to be 4 times faster? Yeah, okay, I'll give it to you. We'll grab this item really quick. Kraken's like, all right, I'm going to win the game.
If you insist. I think it's kind of funny that they didn't go for the turret at the same time.
Well, I mean, the Kraken will easily be able to finish that off. I think they just want to set up for another fight.
It's kind of scary, though. I mean, I guess maybe they didn't have as much time as I originally thought. Death timers are still not that long.
Yeah, we're only 16 minutes in, even though the domination is starting to occur.
I'm just kind of scared, this Kraken can be burst down. We got Sky for Ken as well on the opposite side.
Yeah, it can also absorb a lot of that Sky damage, though, and allow Godfather to put off the better damage. He's going to be targeting down this turret first, which is going to allow the Kraken a much speedier road towards the Vein Crystal turrets. And there's Ken trying to put off that damage, trying to slow down this push. It looks like they're just going to carefully go for the turrets. Here comes the Fortress ult. Lolly is trying to initiate. Very nice gauntlet here, actually, surrounding Godfather. Godfather goes down, and this looks like it's going to be a very good fight for CNL. Let's see, Dead Doll getting very low. Down he goes. Now they just need to be careful, and if they can take MX out without losing a single member, not only can they deal with the Kraken. Oh, whoa.
Oh, man. That was getting scary, but they are able to take him out just at the end. Very nice jump onto Godfather inside that gauntlet.
Well, they're going to lose both of their Vein Crystal turrets nonetheless, but with this ace, they can try to at least clear their own jungle, I suppose, safely. They're not going to get much out of this, but it's always scary when you have this much damage on a team. If you try to go into the jungle or if you try to take the next Kraken, they might even backdoor you. With this comp, you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely just target down that Vein Crystal and win the game.
It's very scary. I do love the fact that they did add the barrier to the Vein Crystal as well. Just to, I mean, it did get kind of cheesy. Like once the Vein Crystal was left open, it's like, okay, we're going to do anything in our power to just run around you, and our only goal in the game now is going to backdoor. But now it's like you need more strategy. You need to plan it. Maybe take out one member first, or you do like this big sneak strat with 3 people, and it's very risky, but you get away with it.
I think the shields are a great addition to the game. I have to agree with you there. All right, we're going to see Lolly going to drop down his ult. Again, they're going to try to initiate here. They're trying to take out Godfather. This time the gauntlet is tossed, of course, by Dead Dolls. It's still not active for Leo. Ken falls, though. This is starting to look like it might snowball out of control as Godfather is left to his own devices to do that massive damage. Lolly is going to be his first target. He's just kiting around, and Leo's going to go down next, and it's going to be a 3-0 ace. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be game. It looks like DMG is going straight to the finals, and they are going straight to the Vein Crystal here in this final game of our winner's match of the semis.
Watch him jump over the wall. No.
He's like, nah.
There we go.
Then jumps over the shorter wall.
Yeah, maybe you can only do it there on the side. Either way, that is going to be the game going to DMG. Very well done. Kind of what we expected after all, but CNL giving them, a bit of a challenge going towards that final.
That's right. Now CNL will play against the winner of our next match, our losers match. So not